What's up everyone, welcome to Website from Scratch Part 3, where we're going to be adding a loading animation to our website. This will be added globally, so all of our current pages will have access to this loader, and any pages that we create going forward will also have access to this loader. In our last video, we created a style guide. If you guys haven't watched that video, go check it out. We created styles for our entire website, for the headings, the inputs, the buttons, and so on. And we put them right here in our style guide page. This way we can always see and reference it so we know what classes to use when we're creating other views for our website. Down at the bottom of this page, we're going to add our loading animation. Here you see I have a loader test. Here are the styles we're going to code up, and we're going to also put a little test here so we can see exactly what our loader looks like. When we click on it, it's going to pop up for 1 second with a little spinny and then go away. So it's going to look like this. There's our spinner, and then it goes away after 1 second. Alright, so we're going to begin over in our Flippy Coins repository. Check it out on GitHub, github.com/jstolpe/flippycoins. We're going to create and open up the files that we're going to need for this video. And the two files we're going to need for this video are in our app folder, assets. We're going to create a CSS file and a JS file, one for the styles and one for the JavaScript. Over in my CSS folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and we're going to call it loader. Inside the loader folder, we're going to create a CSS file called global.css. Then we're going to hop back up to our assets folder and hop into the JS folder. Again, we're going to create a loader folder in here. And inside our loader folder, we're going to create a global.js file. Then we're going to hop into Sublime, and we're going to open up the files we just created, app, CSS, loader, global.css. In our JavaScript file, we're going to open up our loader, global.js. Now the other files we're going to open is our style guide HTML body. Then we're going to open up our views templates default HTML. This is our global HTML template, which every view gets loaded into. And then we're going to open up our JS style guide JavaScript, because we're going to add some JavaScript in here to display the loader for 1 second and make it go away. Now that we have all the files open and created that we need, we're going to go to our template HTML, and we're going to include our CSS and JavaScript file we just created so that they're included on all the views that we create. First, I'm going to include the CSS. There is the path to the global CSS file we just created, and we have our CSS loaded. Next thing we want to do is include our script. There's the path to the global.js file in our loader folder. Now we have our global CSS here and our global.js loading on all of our views. We're going to begin in our JavaScript folder loader global.js file. We're going to create a variable here, an object called flippycoins loader. And in here we're going to have an initialize function. This function is going to write two divs out to the DOM. They're both going to be hidden by default. One is going to be a global overlay, which is going to take over the whole screen. It's going to be transparent so you can see the website behind it, but you can't interact with it. Then on top of that global overlay, we're going to have another div with the actual loader that spins. So we're going to start by defining our loader HTML. Our first div, like I said, is going to be our overlay. After our variable HTML has been defined, we're going to add that to the body with an .append. Place our loader HTML right there and tag on the body. Now when our page loads, our div will be tacked on to the body. And with that, we can copy our class here and define it in our CSS file. .loader overlay. Our loader overlay is going to have a dark background, but we're going to give it a little opacity so you can see the website behind the screen that we're putting up in front of the user. Position fixed, taking over the whole screen with height and width of 100% and a z-index of 1, so it's on top of our website. Now that we have it styled up and we have it loading into our body, we actually have to call our flippycoins loader.initialize to make this happen. Over in our global HTML template here inside of our head, inside of our ready function here, we're going to call our flippycoins loader.initialize. Now, on page load, we will actually execute this function right here, which loads the HTML loader overlay onto our body. Hopping over to our browser, flippycoins/style guide, we should see our overlay. There it is. You see our overlay is on top of everything, and we cannot interact with the site at all. So we're going to add on a display none. Now you know what the overlay looks like, and on default page load, it is display none. Now that we have our overlay, we just need to add our spinny. To do that, all we have to do is add some more HTML onto our loader HTML in our JavaScript object. Here we're going to add on our loader container. And inside of our loader container, we're going to have our loader. Now alongside of our loader overlay, we also have our div loader container. We're going to head over to our global.css and style up our loader container. Our loader container is going to be a fixed position. It's going to have a top and left of 50%. We're going to transform translate it so it's in the center of the screen at all times. And we're going to have a z-index of 2 on it, meaning that it's right above our loader overlay. Then we're going to style up our loader. This is the actual spinny. Thick border, it's blue, the width is going to be 50 pixels and the height's 50 pixels. And then we're going to animate it and make it spin infinitely. Then all we need to do is define our keyframe spin, which is called out here in our animation. So we're going to define our spin from 0% 0 degrees to 100% 360 degrees. So it spins full circle. So let's head over to our style guide page, refresh it, and we see our spinny right here. We haven't set a display none on it yet. Over here in our inspector tool, if we select our loader overlay and we get rid of the display none, you see our loader takes over the whole page. So our loader container, we're going to go to display none. Now when the page loads, the loading overlay and the loader are both hidden. Our global.js loader, the initialization is complete. Now that we have the overlay and the loader both styled up and hidden, we're going to head over to our Flippy Coins object and we're going to create a show and a hide function. First, we're going to start with the hide loader. So to hide the loader, we have to hide our loader overlay, do a .hide on that, and we also have to do a .hide on our loader container. Then we're going to create a show loader, a .show on both of these. Now anywhere on our website, on our current pages, or on any pages we create in the future, we just have to call flippycoins.loader.hideLoader to hide it, and flippycoins.showLoader to show the loader. With that, we can head over to our style guide, and at the bottom we're going to add on another row for a demo of our loader. We're going to create another style guide row. We're going to call this one the loader test. Then we have our div underneath it that displays out the classes that we've styled up. We have our loader overlay, and we have our loader container. Now we can display our content, which is just a demo of what we've done. We're going to create a div, we have a class, we're going to give it an a default, so it displays as a link. Then we're going to call it loader test button. This is the class we're going to target with jQuery for the onClick. The link text will be loader test lasts 1 second. Let's copy our loader test button here, and in our global.js style guide, our onReady function, let's target it on click. Whenever the user clicks this, we want the user to see the loader. So we call flippycoins dot and our function show loader, which shows our overlay and our loader. Then we're going to do a set timeout, and we're going to set this to 1 second. And after 1 second, we want to hide our loader. So we call our hide loader function, which will hide both of our divs. Now we can go back to our style guide, refresh the page, and at the bottom we should see our loader. There's our loader test, the classes that we've just styled up, and if we've coded everything correctly, clicking on this loader test should show our loader, display the spinny, and then go away after 1 second. It worked! And that is going to wrap up our loading animation with CSS, HTML, JavaScript, jQuery. We have our overlay takes over the page. On top of the overlay, we have a little spinny, and we have our JavaScript object where we initialize the loader, and then it's set up for our hide and show function where we can call it from any page we want because we've included it globally in the head of our HTML. Now you can take this code, modify it, make the loader look way cooler, whatever you want to do. This is just the basic structure for setting up a loader, getting it to show and hide easily on your page. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you out. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you want to see coded up next. I'll catch you later.